Hi guys, this is Sandeep from Phone Arena, and today we have a very different sort of unboxing. This is not in the studio as per usual videos, and even the quality might be a bit different till we get the TV set up. So this actually is a 4K TV. It's a 65-inch 4K TV from LeEco TV called the X365, and it's actually really massive, and we just got this in our office and we want to give you an unboxing of it. Although it's not a typical style unboxing, we just wanted to give you a rough unboxing, and then we'll show you more details about the TV itself once we have gotten it set up. So inside this is the 65-inch TV, and we have actually removed 4 of the components from below, and apparently now all we have to do is just lift it up. So they say take out the accessory box, so let's remove this first, the main box. Let's see how it comes out. And now apparently you have to take out the accessory box. So that's the TV right there, and as you can probably tell, it's really huge, and I'm just touching it right here, and it's really thin, and it's actually made out of metal, really premium quality metal, and I can feel the cold metal right here. And apart from that, we also got a separate box. So this is the cloud base, that's what LeEco TV calls it. This is the cloud base, and this apparently I think goes underneath the TV and provides support for it in order for it to stand upright. So maybe I'll just stand on the other side to prevent this from falling. So I'll stand here and I'll show you this accessory box actually. So inside this we have the product quick guide. So this is shown as a 4K Ultra HD TV. So this is the quick guide itself. Apart from that, we have a few other accessories as well. The first is the remote, and let's just take it out of the plastic cover. So this is the remote. It's pretty different. It's actually quite big in terms of the size. It has a directional pad, there's a center click button, there's a power button, mute switch, there's a navigation. I think this has an air mouse sort of feature where you can use it to hover and actually control rather than having to use the D-pad. I think that's facilitated using this. We'll just check it out in a moment once we get the TV set up. And apart from that, you also have the typical Android buttons. You have the home key, the recent or options key, as well as the return key, and a LeEco key as well. I'm not sure it actually clicks, but I'm not sure what the function is. We'll find out in a second. And you also have a microphone. You also get 2 AA batteries for the remote, of course, as well as a splitter. I think this is the splitter for the audio. So this goes into the 3.5mm audio jack of other devices, and then this is the splitter. So let's just set the TV up and we'll bring you a quick demo or a video of how the TV works and how it actually looks and feels, and overall the entire experience of having a 4K LED 65-inch TV. So we've actually mounted the LeEco TV X365 4K 65-inch TV right now onto the cloud base, and the cloud base is actually really big since it has to support such a big and heavy TV. The TV itself is around 38 kilos, including the box, according to what's written on the box. I know it's actually quite a bit difficult to get it mounted onto the stand and even take it out of the box, as you may have seen. So let's start with the back side of the TV, where we explain the different connectivity options. First, you have the SD card slot, you have a USB 3.0 port, you have a USB 2.0 port instead of 2 HDMIs. Then you have a port which basically allows you to connect your set-top box or your DVD player, for example. Then we'll move over to the next set of connectivity ports, which are down below. Here are the next set of connectivity ports. You have an HDMI port here that supports MHL. You have a PC input for both audio as well as VGA. You have an Ethernet port here. You have an audio out port, which is a 3.5mm audio jack. You have an AV port. You have an antenna as well as an optical cable port as well. Now moving over to the other side, this is where you have the input for the power cable. As you can see here, there are different brandings here, the MHL, Dolby Audio, DTS Premium Sound, etc. and you can see even the different ratings for the USB ports. The USB 2.0 port supports 5 volts at 500 milliampere, while the USB 3.0 port supports 5 volts at 900 milliampere. The rated power consumption is 150 watts, and this actually supports a frequency range of 100 to 240 volts at 50 to 60 kilohertz. So this is the 65-inch 4K LED TV, which is the X365. So now we'll be showing you the rest of the stuff, the good stuff. Let's take a look at how the TV performs and the different features. So as you can see here, the TV takes up a whole lot of room. This here is the LETV or LeEco logo over here, and this is where the main part of the stand plugs into. So you have 4 rubber stoppers here. You have to remove that and then put this inside and tighten it with 4 different screws. At the right side also you have another set that goes in. You have a screw there, and that also plugs in to provide additional support to prevent the TV from shaking a bit. You also get a set of wall mounts. Basically you can attach it to the back of the TV over here and then drill it to the wall. Since it's a bit tall and a bit top heavy also, they recommend doing it especially if you have kids running around, for example. Rather than toppling the TV, it actually provides additional support to it, so you can do that as well. The other option is to wall mount it, but since this TV is a review unit, we don't want to wall mount it, and we are just putting it on the cloud base for you right now. So the TV is actually fully metal. If you look at the sheet, this here is plastic, but this main sheet over here is actually fully metal, and it has a nice black brush metal finish over here. And apart from that, even if you look at the sides and tops, there's actually chamfered edges, which really looks good, and the entire thing is pretty slim. It's actually one of the slimmest TVs I've seen, especially for something of this size, and it seems really interesting. So let's just power it on and take a look at the different features and the quality of the TV itself. So now we have everything set up, and this here is the TV. It's actually plugged in. If you notice at the left hand corner, there's a LeTV logo. This here is the Super Max 365, which is a 65-inch TV, 4K TV LED. It has 16 GB of internal storage as well as 3 GB of RAM. Now there'll also be a 55-inch variant of the same thing, which is obviously smaller, but we decided to get you the 65-inch for, you know, the best viewing pleasure possible. So now I have the remote here. I'll just be turning it on over there, and once you turn it on, you can see that the LeTV logo lights up in the left hand corner, and let's see what comes up now. So LeTV, I'm not a TV, I'm a complete internet ecosystem. So as you can see, it's powered by Android, and so it's booting up. This thing actually costs close to $1 lakh. It's around 99,000 and change for the MRP. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty loud already. So I just muted it so that you can hear me speak. So once it boots up, let's see what the setup procedure is like, and once we get through that, we'll show you the rest of the features. So as you can see, there are quite a lot of languages, and there's even Hindi out of the box, but we'll go ahead with English for now. You can connect to the Wi-Fi. So let's connect to the Wi-Fi now. Now the D-pad is a bit slow. It's actually not as fast as I'm pressing it. I think it takes some time to register the input. So it's connecting to Wi-Fi, as you can see here, and it supports both 2.4 as well as 5G connections. So now that it's connected, let's click next. Time zone, it's already selected India. So login, register, skip. This is if you already have a LeEco membership. So for now, let's just skip it and skip. Yeah. So it mentions that some of the things can't actually be enjoyed without having the membership, but let's go ahead for now and see what it offers. So now we have the TV all booted up. So this here is the remote, as you can see, and the remote comes with different keys. You can see that there's a volume up down key, there's a microphone input, there's a share key. This actually takes a screenshot as well. You can use the button over here to change the channels, the D-pad, the home buttons. You can see that there's a menu button, a home button, a return key, a LeEco key. There's a number pad, settings, air mouse feature, microphone, power key, as well as a mute button. So right now, if I want to actually change the channels, for example, I'll need to use the D-pad in this case. But if I actually want to use the air mouse feature, I can just press this air mouse button over here, and I'll be able to use the air mouse feature. So it does say air mouse not supported, but it's actually working pretty nicely. So it takes a bit of time to actually get used to it, but once you do, you can actually navigate through the different settings using the mouse feature. So now I'll just go into settings and show you what are the different options. So let's go into system. So over here you have a bunch of different settings. You have display, you have settings to help make the content much better when watching video games or when playing video games or watching sports, for example. You have different audio settings. You can choose the sound format, Dolby, DTS for the terms of surround. You have the control for left and right speaker, a Dolby night mode in order to control the total amount of volume output so that your neighbors or people inside your house don't get disturbed. You can choose output for the speaker, external speaker, internal speaker, headset, etc. You also get to enable or disable system sounds. So you have these kind of sounds, so we'll actually just disable them so that you guys can hear me speak. And then you go back there. You have accessories. You can actually connect over Bluetooth. You can connect a camera if you want. You have a remote control, super remote control, so you actually have to pair the remote control with the TV once you get it. So the pairing is done by keeping it close to the IR receiver and pressing the pair mode, which is actually there underneath the battery cover. So as you can see, Wi-Fi is already connected. You have an Ethernet port on this. You also have a speed test, so let's go ahead and check out the speed on this. So it takes around 30 seconds to judge the speed of your network. So we are currently on an ACT network that supports 100 Mbps up and down. So the speed seems to be quite good. It's saying around 6, it peaked at 6 megabytes per second. So there's around 15 more seconds for a speed test to finish. So we got an average speed of around 3.4 megabytes per second, and the recommended viewing quality is actually 4K. So if you have a slower connection, perhaps they'll recommend you 1080p or 1440p or even 720p based on your connection speed. Apart from that, you also have some settings. You can actually schedule the TV to switch on automatically at a particular time. You also have a standby indicator. Right now this option is enabled, and that's why the indicator is actually dimly lit when the TV is off in standby mode. You have a system update mode, and I think currently it should be in the latest version, but let's take a look. Yeah, it is in the latest version. You have a reset, you have a safety, and you can, since this runs on Android, you can actually choose to install apps of unknown origins in case you're not downloading it from the Play Store or any other store. You have the about page here. You have the device information. As you can see, is running on it's the model X65, which is 65-inch TV. It has EUI version 5.8.0.48, and you have the network information. Now here's the storage. So 16 GB of internal storage. Out of that, system memory takes 6.1 GB, user data is 356 MB, and available is 9.5 GB. So around 40% is used, and the rest is available to the user. So you have a bunch of different things that you can check, different modes for the picture itself. So when you're playing game, you can set it in the game mode, movie mode, vivid, soft, etc. based on the content you're actually watching or displaying on this. Similarly, you have a bunch of different settings for the sound modes as well. You can choose to turn off the screen, network, and input direct connections. So let's just go ahead and play something right now. So this is basically the live streaming of different TV channels, and it's called LeLive, and you can actually add different channels to your favorites, and several features are still developing, so you can actually make use of them as and when they roll out. So the other thing is basically the different apps. So once this loads, I can actually head into the settings and choose the quality that I want to. So in this particular case, the highest quality available is 396p, so that's what I choose, and I can also choose the aspect ratio, etc. Apart from this, there are other features as well. So if you go into input, you can actually get inputs from the different HDMI. So this is actually the analog TV input, and since we haven't actually connected a receiver to this, DTH or any other receiver to this, it's not displaying. That's why it comes like this. But you can actually go into apps, and here you find different sort of apps. Here you have the store itself, LeTV store, where you can download different apps for your TV and make use of it. So we have actually gone ahead and installed some of the apps, including speed test. So I'll just show that to you right now. and you can go to a store, put them for downloading and installing, and that'll go on in the background. You don't actually have to be in the store while the apps are being downloaded. So now let's take a look at speed test. We have already seen how the TV itself functions using the internal speed test, but let's take a look at the speed test that we all know. I'm making use of the air mouse feature right now to actually begin, since the D-pad actually doesn't work right now. So the air mouse, as you can see here, works pretty well. You need to get used to it a bit in order to actually use it flawlessly, but it's actually much easier than using the D-pad, especially when you have different applications such as this. So as you can see here, there was a quick speed test result. So let's go back and take a look at the other things here. So if you go into files, you can see the different kind of storage on this, different kind of files that are on the TV at the moment. So I had taken several screenshots. There's actually a dedicated screenshot button on the remote itself that allows you to take a screenshot as and when needed. So it automatically saves it to this, just as it would on any other Android phone. This is the APK. We had actually shown you how to install from unknown sources. So if you actually have something, some sort of an APK on this device, you can install it if you want, just like you would on your smartphone as well. Other than that, you also get the system update. Over here you get a weather widget. So right now the location is not yet configured, that's why it's still showing Kolkata, but once you configure it, you actually get the weather information from that particular place. When you go into tools, you have camera. So this is when you connect an external camera. You can connect it and actually make use of it here. Then you can go into message, you have history. You also have LeEco, which is actually a video content thing, and it has a lot of videos from Eros now, for example. So as you can see here, Baji Rao Mastani, Raggi Bhaijan, Welcome Back, and a whole lot of movies. So if you click here, again you get a whole list of additional titles. So all these are available for streaming for free. So let's go ahead and just stream Welcome Back, for example. So the quality of this actually depends on your internet speed itself. Right now you can see that the quality is not so good, but then now the quality has again refreshed. That's because it's actually judging the speed of your internet connection and accordingly gives you the sort of quality that you can actually broadcast through. So you can actually get quite a lot of content in 1080p, 1440p, even 4K on this. And apart from that, you go into a store, you get a whole lot of, you also have a browser, and you go into a store, you get a whole lot of apps that you can use this. You can stream your content from your smartphone onto this as well. And overall the TV seems to be quite fully loaded with everything that you have. The air mouse feature in particular is something that I really like, since it allows you to navigate through the different features and apps without actually having to use the D-pad, which can at times become a bit painful to use. So this is much easier, I feel, if you want to use it, especially even for games. This air mouse feature might come in handy quite a bit. So that was the entire UI and stuff of the LeTV 65-inch 4K TV. So that was the unboxing and the first impressions of the 65-inch 4K TV from LeTV. You also get a 55-inch TV and also a 3D enabled version of this particular TV available from LeTV, and you can check the detailed specifications at the link in the description below. If you like this video, do hit the like button and do subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.